A piece of East Bay music history has come back to life. We're talking about Oakland's legendary Stork Club, Thee Stork Club, as the owners call this dive bar now with two E's. Don't forget the two E's. It's really an amazing music spot. And the new co-owners, Marc and Billy, are here to tell us all about it. Hi, guys. Welcome to Bay Area Focus. Thank you so much.
Oh,
How's it going?
good. We have some construction outside, and we're just getting ready to start the day here.
And you've had some construction on the inside. This is a place where people can come and connect, enjoy music. Tell me what you've been creating there.
Well, basically, I mean, we took the original place, which was, a little bit deteriorated, a lot of graffiti, a lot of stickers, a lot of, old show flyers, and we bring in a little bit of a updated concept to it, a little bit of a, sleazy swinger vibe, a little bit of Madonna Inn and things like that.
Now, you're downplaying it, but I know that takes a lot of work to put together, and it's really, you're creating an experience for the people who will come in. One thing that I loved reading about, you've got an old style rock California grotto, and guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't say it kind of reminds and evokes those pictures of like Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion. Is it kind of like that?
Right. Yeah. Like in the 50s, everyone just started slapping stone on every surface. And yeah, we kind of did that here. It's a stone on the wall is pretty classic, 60, 50, 60s dive bar
Yeah,
um,
I
thing.
relate to that completely. I'm in the process of remodeling an Eichler home here in the Bay Area, and
Oh,
so I kind of know what you're talking about there.
I used to live in Eichler.
Yeah, so cool. And what I really appreciate about it is that Eichlers were created to have an experience when you walked in, and that's what I love when I read about the description of your club, that it really gives people an experience that's evocative of that time period. Somebody said John Waters would fit in there perfectly. How so? Because I'm picturing that mustache and sort of that vibe. How does it work?
Well, he came to our grand opening and was the host of the grand opening show the
Oh,
other night with the local Bay Area group, the Mummies. Um, and he hosts the music festival that Amy and I put on at the park yearly. And we had one this past weekend. And we had one in July. And we have one next July as well. So
so cool. Yeah, it's one thing to be a change maker and somebody who transforms media like Waters did, but he also has to have a venue to make it work, right?
that's correct. Yeah, I mean, he had a great time at the show on Friday night and at the park this past weekend. And he said if this bar was in Baltimore, he'd be living here every night. So that was a really big compliment, and we'll be happy to host him again next July or whenever he comes through again.
You got to give him a Sharpie and tell him to sign one of the walls if you haven't already. So cool. So tell me about the music scene. You talked about the Mummies there. How are you going to bring in, especially local artists from our community?
We got the Flaming Groovies coming in this weekend, and we also got Diesel Dudes who are playing. Another act that's playing, just a local group called Body Double. Um, yeah, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently at the club than most clubs. I mean, I've played in Billy and I have both promoted shows and played in groups before, and we're going to be having we'll have like a full back line at the club. So a lot of bands that are just that are locals, they can come in and just bring their instruments and plug and play. They won't have to bring all their amps and their drums and stuff, and it'd be kind of like a unique experience. Like when bands play in Japan, Japanese venues kind of supply that, and some places in Europe do too. But we're going to have that here at the Bay Area.
Something I know from my own family story is that places like yours are really community touchstones. I think we really need that nowadays. I was raised in rural Utah, so if you can imagine, my dad's dad had Reed's Club, named at that's who I'm named after, a guy who had a speakeasy called Reed's Club. And then my mother's parents had the Oasis Dance Hall that had Jim Reeves and the Rhythm Wranglers. So I was raised on what you're doing, which is giving a place where people can gather, where people can exchange stories and find commonality in music. Is there anything that's deep in you that makes you believe in what you do?
Yeah, well, the driving force really between Mark and I partnering to take over Stork and turn it, back into a community-focused local venue was that the pandemic really did gut that community here. A lot of people moved, a lot of places closed, and even before that, due to tragedies like the Ghost Ship fire, a lot of underground and um, otherwise non sort of traditional venue kind of events really started to disappear, um, which is why I and my partners Matt and Eric at Eli's created that place. But yeah, Stork seemed like it was really, it could be a really crucial element to keeping the keeping the culture of Oakland alive in the aspect of music and you know cool
Right.
people that give a city its flavor and identity, really.
I agree. Flavor and identity. And you talk about it being an underground scene. And I have a really big belief that those underground scenes are where seeds are planted. And who
True.
knows who's going to come out of Oakland, who plays at the
Right.
Stork, and is able to say, this is where I got my start in this community.
I mean, a lot of different really notable people have played at Stork, and usually because it was such a accessible place to play for a long time.
Well, I think it's phenomenal. I wish you every success in the world. Thank you personally, as a member of this community, for creating a place post pandemic. If we can really say we're post pandemic, where people can gather, look one another in the eye, smile, and have some laughs. My goodness, we need that in this world. Our thanks to Marc and Billy Joe. And remember, there's a lot happening at Thee Stork Club. Two E's, don't forget that. Concerts, events, and a whole lot more, and connection in our community. To find out more, check out the website. That's thestorkclub.com.